Hello and welcome. I want to do something today that I don't think I've really ever done. Definitely not on this series. And I feel it's really important. This is called Minecraft Stories, but I would like to share a real life story. A little behind the scenes of what's been going on in my life because it's really affected this series. And so I think this is the appropriate place to talk about it. For a quick little context, for those of you who haven't been following my series very long, I would like to talk about how this series got started. I did not have a lot going on when I ended the previous series on the server. So I knew I wanted to do something big. I wanted something that I could work on for well over a year and really grow it and see the final product at the end and something amazing has done and have an epic story to tell. And so I launched into this with big eyes. You know the expression, your eyes are bigger than your stomach? Whenever you've eaten something or when you plan to eat something because you're super hungry and you get too much of it and then you can't finish it because you're getting sick with how full it is. Well, that's pretty much what has happened here. I had a huge plan, an epic story that I was planning on unfolding, but not only an epic story, but a massive island build that I was going to work on. And the combination of those two things was going to be really fulfilling, use a lot of my time, but it's all I had to work on, and I was super excited for the project. Well, not long after we got started, a friend of mine encouraged me to go ahead and start a project I've been thinking about for quite some time. I've been thinking about this idea to mix Dungeons and Dragons with Minecraft and really tell an unfolding story over a long period of time. And they thought it would be a good time to start it. And, well, I had just started this project, but I was super excited for that one as well. So I said, all right, let's do it. And we found some new friends and we got this thing off and going, spent a ton of time in organization and server building and world building, and we got it going. And I don't know if you've been watching it, but it's super amazing. I love it. It's exactly the kind of stuff I like to do, with lots of storytelling mixed into Minecraft. Actually, it was focusing on storytelling, not even a whole lot of really Minecraft playing. Just a world to play in that I can tell stories. We got through the first chapter of that, and it was so much fun, but it was so much work. And I kept trying to maintain this series as well while I'm doing that one. Now, I don't know if you've paid a lot of attention to how these channels or these episodes go together, but they're not a regular Let's Play. I don't just walk around the world, building things, doing adventures, recording it, and putting it out. They're scripted. There are special video effects. I have to do a lot of work with the NPCs or with the animals to get my adventure and story across. It's a lot. It's a lot to do. And so to have two of them going at the same time, well, it was a little foolish. I was doing it, but it really wasn't that smart. But then on top of that, I saw someone put out a video of a challenge, a creator challenge where it's like a little game, right? If you've seen them, some rules are set out. You attempt some challenges, and you make a video. And I was like, you know what? That is shorter. That's enjoyable. I would like to try some of those to see if I can do them rather than just the big story type things. And then that brought me to 9 Lives, if you've seen that series. And so I started doing a 9 Lives series that was, hardcore for like a straight month of playing, recording, and doing all kinds of things. Now, if you're counting at this point, that's like 4 series that I was trying to do at once. And I don't have to tell you, I became overwhelmed. Now, that's actually why I'm having this talk with you today. I became overwhelmed doing something I loved, and it happened unexpectedly, and I didn't see it coming. I can imagine some of you might be in a similar situation, whether it's you had kids and you love them, but you're feeling overwhelmed. And maybe you're feeling a little guilty that you're feeling overwhelmed because you brought this life into the world and now you're feeling overwhelmed. And so I wanted to talk about my experience here. You know, kids aren't the only thing. You take on a new job, you take on a new hobby, you take on some new friends, whatever it is, it's something that you love, but then you find yourself in a position of feeling overwhelmed. And that's where I was. I was very overwhelmed. And this series suffered the most because from the beginning, the idea for this series was a little broken. To have a massive story with all kinds of story and video trickery and everything to tell the story, on top of a massive island build to do simultaneously, it was just doomed to fail from the beginning. There was no way I was going to be able to keep up both of them. And that's where I got stuck. That was the first inclination to me that I was overwhelmed, is I didn't know how to continue with this world. I had things to do. I didn't know how to tell a story until those things are done. But those things were massive, giant pits to make, giant forests, all these things that I needed to do, massive docks and buildings and infrastructure. And I didn't know how to continue. And so I stopped. And I just worked on the 9 Lives series. I did the creator challenges. And I tried my best to continue on with lore and legend. And that's the second place where I realized I was overwhelmed. I was trying so hard to keep lore and legend going for myself, but also I was one of the architects, actually one of the main architects of that series, and I didn't want to let everybody down. I wanted to keep it going. I was managing the Discord. I was updating the server. I was creating, packs. I mean, there's other people were doing things too. I'm not saying I was doing it alone, but I really felt the burden of keeping it going for everybody. And it wasn't going well. For one reason or another, it was a huge struggle. And that's where I started feeling being overwhelmed again, was in that series. Matter of fact, I was feeling so overwhelmed and things were going so badly, I actually lost a close friend, or someone I consider a friend. They didn't die. I'm not saying they died. I lost a friend in all this, and I can't even tell you why. I was so overwhelmed and so busy trying to keep everything going that I lost track of a friend, and we parted ways, and to this day I still don't even know really what happened. And it's super sad, super disappointing, and that for me was kind of the last straw, and I knew something had to change. The first thing I changed actually was my health life. Now, I'm not saying I'm getting much healthier. I'm still the guy who sits on Minecraft for hours a day. That's not the healthiest task or a hobby you can go about doing. But my family had been after me to go to the doctor for quite some time, and I was reluctant because I was relatively healthy. I had no issues or no reason to complain, but I didn't really have a doctor, and I finally went, partially because the anxiety of what was going on was getting me so much that I started questioning, is my blood pressure going through the roof? Am I having heart issues? What is going on? And I decided I needed to check. I needed to find out. And it turns out, at least as far as the blood pressure and the basic health goes, I'm fine. Physically, nothing fine. It was just the stress of everything I was trying to juggle at once. These things that I loved, all these series that I held dear and wanted to keep going, and what I thought was my relaxation and fun, was actually causing me stress, and I needed to do something about that now that I know that it wasn't actually a health issue, but it was just a mental issue that I needed to adjust something in my life. So, what's it going to be? What am I going to fix? What am I going to change? Well, I have a plan, and I'm actually really excited about it, and I'm really looking forward to it. I am not stopping playing Minecraft. I love it, and when I'm doing it right, it is my joy and my relaxation, and it's what keeps me happy as far as a hobby goes. My joy and my love comes from my family, but as far as happy entertainment goes, this is it for me. So I'm going to change what types I do. First of all, Lore and Legend is going to take a pause. We have an episode coming out here shortly in a couple days. It was such a great episode. Knowing that I was no longer going to be carrying that season for like on my back with everything else that's going on, and that I got to film an episode that allows us to pause the series. It was so fun to make. I loved it. I hope you watch it. It's super good, and I'm super proud of it. But that's going to take a pause. This series is going to change. I'm no longer going to try all storytelling and all building at the same time. I am going to build. I'm going to do a little bit of more of a standard let's play for a while. I have things I want to do. There's adventures like in the Nether that doesn't really fit into the story. There's some cool new mining techniques and new mobs and this and that in the game that I would love to experience that I haven't really done a lot of yet, that I would like to do just because they didn't fit into the story. And then whenever I have this world built out, then I'm going to come back and we are going to pick up the story. And it's going to be epic. I'm super looking forward to that. I'm not giving up on any of it. Matter of fact, I am writing that story in my head already. I'll put it down on paper, and I think it's going to be even better for the time that I'm putting into it. But I'm not trying to do both at the same time anymore. Then I will continue the creator challenges because they're just fun. There's no other way around it. I get to just spend some time trying these adventures, recording it, and if I get a good one or a bad one, I can put it out there, and it's super fun. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it's just pure entertainment for me, and I hope for you too. And then, something that I think has been missing from my life and from my channel, Aladrium and I are going to be doing some content maps, some adventure maps, or some DLC, just some live play. I am not a streamer. I don't really, I may stream someday, but it's not really what I'm interested in. But I would very much like to try maybe pre-streaming, right? I record myself playing something live, cut out some of the boring bits, and just have a good time with a good friend. So that's something I will be doing soon, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I think that's about it. There are more details, but I feel like if you go into more details on some things, you're revealing things about people that maybe I don't have the right to reveal about them. So I just kind of wanted to share how I was feeling lately. I feel like that's the most appropriate thing to do at this moment. And let you know a little bit about the direction that I'm planning on taking. Why don't you let me know below if you have any comments about this. If you have feelings of overwhelming, whenever you're trying to do something that you love, or you're trying not to let someone down, or if you just simply want to tell me what you think about the direction. Are you excited that I'm going to do more live play and just hanging out with people having fun rather than scripting stories? Or I don't mind if you want to tell me that you will be disappointed because you're missing the stories. That's good to hear too. I'm planning on coming back to doing more storytelling, so it's not like it's going away forever. I really love doing it. But yeah, I just like to hear what you think, how you feel, how was Minecraft been treating you? If you're a content creator, how has YouTube been treating you? And most of all, how have you been treating yourself? And how have you been treating the loved ones around you, your friends and your family? Because that's really what's more important above this game and above everything else. All right? Well, thanks so much for listening to me just kind of talk on for a while. I hope in a strange way that you have enjoyed it. And I hope that my words in some way have been adequate.